As part of our 2.0 competition, some people may know Hipmunk. They're going to launch.
Now when the guys are coming.
Yeah. Hey!
Hi there. I'm Danilo Campos, founder of mobile over at Hipmunk. I'm here to show you Hipmunk for iPhone. Why don't we get started? So I'm feeling like an adventure today. We're going to leave from right here in San Francisco. And I've been craving ramen, something terrible, so we got to go to Tokyo. Thinking we're going to leave mid-month. That gives us time to get packed, so those dates look good to me. And let's have a look at what those results are going to look like. Have a look at that. At Hipmunk, it's very important to us that you be immediately able to tell what the best flight is for your needs. So you can see right at the top of the list there is a very short bar. We show you this graph so that you can tell immediately, hey, this flight's taken off here, it's landing here, and I can see how it stacks up against my other options. We also don't sort by price, because price is not the important metric. A little thing that we call agony is. With agony, we take how long the flight is in the air, how many layovers it has, and how hard it's going to hit your wallet. And we combine those three things. And that lets us do some fun stuff, like say, hey, for just $2 more, you don't have to have a layover. That's a good deal. You don't have to be in the air for a couple of more hours. Who's not going to take that deal? So why would we show you that flight, second, third, fourth? It doesn't make any sense. So we want to make it so that with very little effort, you can pick the flight that's going to be the least miserable. That's important to us. It's also important to us, when we get into something like mobile, that it feel right at home. So here in Hipmunk for iPhone, you can do stuff like pinch and stretch to zoom in if you want some more detail. You can pan up and down, left and right, just like you would feel at home anywhere else. If you want to pop over to landscape mode, get a little bit more elbow room, of course you can do that. So let's have a look at that flight in more detail. We'll go back to portrait. We'll pop it open. All right, so 11 hours, 4 minutes. That's pretty good. And I can see there that I'm actually going to land a few minutes earlier than some of these other options, but I actually get to sleep in with this flight. That's good. I'm not a morning guy. Perfect. So why don't we pick that first option? On our leg back, same deal. We've got a bunch of stuff with layovers, but here's one at the top for a few bucks more where I don't have to have that. So we'll pick that. So now it's booking time. If we need to, if we absolutely must, we can book on our phone. So we'll click that, and off we go to Safari, we load up orbits, and there it is. But that's going to be a lot of work for our thumbs. So why don't we go back to Hipmunk, look at our other options. We can email the booking link. If we've got a friend who's going to come with us, we can trust them to say, hey, take care of this for me, let's go on a trip together. We can email it off to them. Well, let's say you've been searching for the last 5 minutes, and now it's time to get back off the toilet bowl and rejoin the rest of humanity. When you go over to your computer, all you got to do is load finish.hipmunk.com. We're going to give you a little phrase right there that you can type in, and it's going to take us right over to the partner site where we can get our booking done. So that's Hipmunk for iPhone, the best way to find the very best flights, and now it'll come with you anywhere you go. Thanks for listening today.
That was fucking awesome.
Yeah, I was gonna say, not sure I buy that every consumer isn't interested in price, but that was a good pitch.
Thank you.
The thing I love about Hipmunk, I saw it a couple weeks ago, just kind of browsing around the web, is that when people are booking flights, it's a very stressful experience.
Yes.
You've got people on the other end that have expectations of when you're going to get in. You've got family with you. You've got colleagues with you. It's a stressful situation. And every single travel site out there gets data display wrong.
Oh, yeah.
Because it does not map to our mental model of how we see time. I have to look at a grid, I see a bunch of times, I convert that over in my head subconsciously to how that fits into the day, what's going to happen on both ends. To see it in a timeline like that, it's a small shift, but it's a brilliant shift. It really helps people understand what they're getting into, and it's smart to sort by other things than just price. I would use this in my personal life.
I really appreciate that, and that really goes to the core of what we're trying to do here. I feel like any situation where somebody is going to make you do mental math like this, to do such an important task, it's just a real dick move, you know? It's so much easier to see it this way, and we want to be good to our users. That's at the core of everything we do, is to be good to our users.
I thought it was a great presentation, a great product. It was really easy to follow. In 15 years of investing, I have to say what you're doing and what Wanderfly is doing is probably the most innovative thing I've seen in travel.
That's very nice. Thank you.
I want to challenge that a little bit, though. I mean, like, so I get the fact that it's a different sort method, but is that defensible? Like, I mean, so if you prove that that is an interesting sort method, doesn't everybody else like copy you and just, you know, then it's not as interesting and differentiated?
You know, that doesn't concern me. I think that it's very easy to copy the result of a feature, but I don't think it's easy to copy the intent of a feature. Okay. And in this case, our intent is kindness. We want to be good to you. Right. And so you can copy little bits here and there, but our product is always evolving, and we're continually making it better because we want you to have a good time doing this thing that otherwise really would not be fun.
Well, just play devil's advocate on that. I mean, is there anything that goes into the agony index besides the, like, no layovers? Because that's just a checkbox on most travel sites, right? Is there anything else that goes into the algorithm of how you sort it?
You know, there are a lot of signals that we can use for agony. There are a lot that we're talking about right now, and there's a lot of data sources that we can pull from to further enhance the value of that metric. That's something that's evolving all the time. So
right now it's just basically no layovers, is that right?
No layovers, along with cost, along with how much time you're actually spending in the air.
Okay.
One thing that would make me incredibly happy on a mobile flight booking app is to pay you $20 to book the flight for me. Honestly, I mean, whether it's kayak or you name it, you know, you solve one part of it, which is the find problem, and I've used Hipmunk on the web for a while. It's a fantastic application.
Thank you.
I would really like to pay someone to restart the travel agency business around booking a flight that I have already figured out for me off of my phone. One click to buy. Like, why don't people do that? It's just a question. You could probably crowdsource that. Crazy. Right? And if you can't book within 5 minutes, just send me a text that says, sorry, I couldn't book it, we didn't charge you. Why doesn't anybody do that?
I think people are used to doing things themselves. We've gotten this model where, you know,
But it's such an incredible pain on a mobile phone experience to actually go through the booking process.
I agree.
It just seems like, I forget who just asked the question, that seems like an interesting opportunity to lock the customer in rather than just push me off to orbits or, you know, like everybody else does. Just, I mean, just a thought.
No, absolutely. I think what we've done is taken a first stab here at relieving the agony in the mobile side of this equation as well. But, you know, we are tireless. There continue to be opportunities, just as you've described, to make this even easier, and we're talking about that all the time. This is our obsession.
Are you going to have a website?
We do have a website. I apologize for not making that clear. If you go to hipmunk.com, we have a full flight search experience for the web. And so go nuts, and anytime you need to do some flight booking away from your computer, we've got you covered on the iPhone as well.
Awesome. And Uber.com for taxis sort of does that whole payment process. It takes the whole active payment out of cab rides. Shervin, question?
Yep. So Hipmunk's one of the ones that got away. I saw you guys at Y Combinator, and I'm a huge fan. I think diving into what I would call an agony algorithm or agony rank is an interesting concept. So I think if you can solve this in the travel area, anything kind of associated to travel around hotels and how close the hotels this should be to the airport, and those bookings and everything else seems to be an interesting growth pattern and vector for you to go down. Are you considering that? Is that something that you guys would look at? And as they asked, what other areas can you look at innovating around the idea of algorithms for agony and how to solve that?
You know, I don't have anything else to announce today, but I can tell you that we are fervent in our desire to make this experience better all around the world of travel. And so if it's obvious to you where we might go next, I guarantee you it's obvious to us too. We really are hungry to make it better.
One more observation or question? Should be on. Should be on.
A small comment.
Sure.
I flew here from Sydney a couple of days ago.
Welcome.
Thank you. Qantas has changed their flights, so they all deposit you in LA, and then you have to get on American for the last leg. And that was the agony leg of my flight. And the thing is, of course, I didn't know this from looking at any of the booking systems, so I'm wondering if there's some way that I can then feed back in so that you can crowdsource an agony ranking based on people who have taken a particular flight or set of flights.
Based on customer service experience, that kind of stuff, having that sort of aggregated into our results would be interesting to you.
Can we give you specific flight attendants or counter people that we particularly have bad experiences with and have you?
Jason would like a blacklist. Let's see what we can work on for him.
Of certain,
You can offer the airlines to provide the users agony points, and and you will get free flights according to the amount of agony you collected rather than mileage. I think it will make much more sense.
Now that sounds exciting.
I think the other thing on the agony side would be the seat you're sitting in, right? So comparing two flights, I might be willing to take a longer flight if I can get an aisle seat versus a middle seat. So bringing in personal preferences, because what agonizes me versus you could be different.
Yeah, because those bulkhead seats, for example, if you can get one of those, you stretch your legs out, you're paying almost the same amount. That's a good deal.
Yeah, I was going to say, because actually the example you chose is one that I do pretty regularly. My wife's Japanese. We go to Tokyo. And so short flight is one sort order, but we go with kids. So like figuring out that seats are together is another agony issue. And then seat, width and length, if I'm traveling by myself, is also a priority for agony. So agony definition by consumer is probably an interesting technology.
Let's hear it for the anti-agony Hipmunk.
Thank you.